Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining me. I've spent the past few weeks analyzing over 3,800 comments from Reddit's Ask Women, one of the largest online spaces where women share personal experiences, questions, and advice between the period of March and April. The goal was to understand what drives engagement, what themes dominate, and what we can learn about emotional resonance in online communities. So after we did our pre-processing, data extraction, data cleaning, here's the first thing that we noticed was when conversations peaked, and it was really interesting. We saw three peaks on April 7th, April 14th, and 15th under the themes of workplace trauma, mother-daughter dynamics, relationship and surveillance, sexuality and shame, and emotional honesty. Here are the graphs where you can see where the conversations peaked and what kind of threads dominated the conversation. What we were able to notice from this very first analysis was that it wasn't about what was posted, it was about how deeply it resonated. The top engagement threads had one thing in common. It was emotional honesty. For example, we noticed the word here, if you go through the noun phrases, the word emotional affair was one of the top noun phrases across the data set. And even in top 20 most frequent words, we saw that words like feel, want, know, time all point to introspection and self-awareness, which are key themes of and core to this Ask Women's community. The next thing that we looked at was what kind of comments drove virality. So you can see here that only 7 out of 3,800 comments received over 1,000 upvotes, all highlighted here. And thematically, these viral comments often reflected humor, gender and social commentary, personal vulnerability, which reinforced that virality on this platform isn't simply about timing or visibility, but about emotionally or ideologically resonant themes that all women tend to relate with. Um, I'm quickly going to go up and walk you through the word clustering that we did, which was really interesting. So the key insights what we were able to draw through the word clusters through semantic embeddings were romantic relationships, family and childhood, emotional experiences, professional life, which all seem to be like resonant or recurring themes within the conversations, as we will also see through the rest of this report. You can also see that we ran a correlation analysis to see if bigger threads drove more viral comments, and we found only a weak correlation of 0.30. So popularity doesn't always guarantee impact on this community. In fact, the most viral comments tend to be short to mid-length, meaning brevity plus emotional punch equals more visibility. So you can see, look, I think, at this scatter plot. Finally, moving on to the last portion of our report, which is the text mining part. We ran a sentiment analysis using two approaches. One was a text blob, the other was a custom model that uses the Vader lexicon, which we applied to both unigrams and bigrams. I'm going to move on to the results. You can see that the text blob gives a narrow range of scores with a mean around 0.07, and the spread is tightly clustered around neutral. Our custom model, on the other hand, gave a wider spread, more expressive range with a mean 0.35 ranging from -3.6 to 3.3, capturing the intensity of what the users were expressing. Based on these results, we can say with confidence that off-the-shelf sentiment tools might miss emotional nuance, especially in communities like these where trauma, identity, and vulnerability are front and center. Next, using the topic modeling, we were able to identify 6 dominant themes, such as reflection and identity, appearance and gender, moderation platform, relationship and regret, trust and technology, which was really interesting, and stereotype breaking, since a lot of women talk about technology. Yay! And finally, work and life. And you can see that reflection and identity garnered the most number of comments, over 1,000, followed closely by relationship and regret. Parents and gender and trust and technology garnered an equal amount of comments. The biggest takeaway is this isn't just a forum. It's a space where women come to unpack life, from relationships to work to identity. What drives engagement on this platform isn't just sensationalism or clickbaity content, but emotional authenticity. For brands, researchers, or platforms looking to build real trust with communities, here's my advice. Emotional depth matters. Honesty scales better than hype. And in a world full of algorithm, real people still want to be heard. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed the insights and have a good day.